Hey guys, so welcome to your first Edmodo video. There are going to be multiple sections on this video, so make sure you're watching all the sections you need. So we're going to talk today about sequences. And sequences are going to be really similar, something we've already learned, plus you learned about sequences last year in 7th grade as well as a little bit in 6th grade. So we're going to start with the definition of the word sequence. So I want you right now to take a second, pause the video after these instructions, and think about when have you heard the word sequence before? That's this word right here. And what did it mean? So either inside of math class, if you remember, or outside of math class, when have you heard the word sequence? So pause the video and brainstorm some ideas now. So hopefully you thought of sometimes. I know that over the years kids have told me that they heard sequence in language arts, for example, and that in language arts the sequence that the story goes in means like the order of the story or what happens first and second and third. So that's exactly ties into what it means in math. Also, when you're talking about a sequence, you're talking about the order that the numbers occur in. So we're going to go ahead and write that vocabulary word down. A sequence is an ordered list of numbers following a set pattern. So a sequence is an ordered list of numbers following a set pattern. So go ahead and pause the video again and write down that definition in your notes. So we have our first example of a sequence below. We have a list of numbers. We have 8, 11, 14, and 17. So this is an ordered list of numbers that's following a set pattern. We're going to look for the pattern, but we have a lot more vocabulary words that are going to be very important that we're going to talk about now. So 8, 11, and 14, and 17, the thing about this is that these numbers are representing our output. If you look here at our output, these numbers are representing the list that we're getting out. They're not representing the numbers that we're plugging in. So if we look at the list, what is the first number? 8 is the first term in the sequence. So we're going to think about this word term. Term is the position number that the number is in. So it is in the first position number. So I can even go over here and I can come and I can plug in, this is the first position number. That means that 11 would represent the second position number. 14 would represent the third position number, and 17 would represent the fourth position number. So these are the position numbers that correspond with the values we're getting out, and we also call those, like this vocabulary word says here, terms. So go ahead and pause the video and make sure you have all of that information written down. Awesome. The next thing we need to talk about is the numbers we're getting out, what they're called. So our next vocabulary word we're going to talk about is the value that we're getting out. So we're going to ask the value, oops, let's switch over here. The value of the fourth term in the sequence is what? So we're going to look up here. We have the first term, second term, third term, fourth term. The value of the fourth term is 17. So now we can think about what the value of all the other terms is. So for example, if I asked you what's the value of the third term, you should be able to tell me. So go ahead and tell me what is the value of the third term. Awesome. If you said 14 is the value of the third term, that would be correct. So let's look at the next question. I want you to pause the video and answer the next two questions on your own. Okay. So you should have answered these next two questions on your own. The position of the term that has the value of 14 would be the third position. It's the third term. And the value of the fifth term in this sequence is 20. So the fifth term wasn't even written here. But you should have been able to look at this and known that if you needed to continue this list and move on to the fifth term, well, you needed to look at how your values were increasing and continue the pattern that was in it. So go ahead and stop this video after this and move on to the next video. We're going to actually solve some sequences.